Good morning, fans, and welcome to the 33rd episode of the Midwest Donut Review Show. I'm Dave Leggett in St. Louis, Missouri. That is Eric Leggett in Sacramento, California. We're taking care of the Mid, taking care of the West, so you don't have to worry about where to get great donuts. Eric, how you doing this morning?
I am fantastic. Summer is here. Summer is here in Sacramento, and the only time when you want to go outside and it's not unbearably hot is in the mornings. So going out and get donuts this morning, fantastic weather. I think today's like the last day before it gets completely unbearable.
So I know you moved into a new place, and now you have a little patio and a courtyard where you are. Is it shaded at all?
It does get pretty shaded, mostly because the way it's positioned, we don't get any direct sunlight.
Okay.
And there's a big tree, and we have like a little bit of an awning. So it does get shaded, but you go anywhere past that.
Do you think air will move through that courtyard for you this summer? Or will it just sit and stifle?
I think it'll just sit there because there's a lot of walls and buildings in between. Like, there's not a whole lot of space for air to get to the patio.
Oh,
it just gets stuck.
All right. Well, then I'm glad we're doing it in the morning.
Yes.
Got to get our donuts in the morning when it's still cool in Sacramento. All right, so welcome to the show. If you've never been before, Eric and I will both try to buy the same three kinds of donuts. We will taste them, we'll size them, we'll price them, we'll let you know what kind of donuts to get, and on the rare occasion, what kind of donut to avoid when you go to these mom and pop only shops. Although I did make the mistake of going to a chain midway through our podcast travails here, unbeknownst to me. So we're gonna be on the lookout, and for sure today's donut shop for me in St. Louis, absolutely mom and pop shop. Yes. So very glad to have that. We kick off every show with our donut news of the week. Eric, what do you have for us this week?
I have the conclusion of an ongoing story that we have covered in 2 episodes prior. This is, and I'll tell you right now, it's a good ending.
Okay.
Do you remember the New Hampshire bakery that had the mural?
The art issue with the city council.
Yes. So
yes.
The last we checked was a court date was set for them to rule on it. And the title of this article is Judge Rules in Favor of New Hampshire Bakery in Fight Over Donut Mural.
Yes. Well
Conway, New Hampshire's
done. Democracy still lives in tiny little pockets in this country.
Conway, New Hampshire's attempt to force a local bakery to take down the mural, quote, does not withstand any level of constitutional scrutiny, a judge ruled this week. According to the town, the mural violated local laws that regulate signs because the mural depicted baked goods, which the bakery obviously sells. It was deemed a sign, not a mural, and signs are subject to rules limiting their size. While the town's rules define a sign incredibly broadly, in practice, the town only enforces its sign regulations on speech it perceives as commercial in nature. If Levitt's Country Bakery had erected a mural of just a sunrise, for example, the town would have no problem with it, even though the rules on the books would apply to both. Quote, imposing different burdens on speech depending on who is speaking and what is being said is content-based and speaker-based restriction on free speech, quote, reads a 2023 complaint from the Institute for Justice. And that is a public interest law group which represented the bakery in its lawsuit against Conway. And on Monday, a judge agreed.
I have 3 words for those local politicians who've wasted taxpayer money and time. Vote them out.
Yeah.
Get people in there with some common sense about what's going on instead of a Karen activity of, oh, you can't do that.
It's literally it's a painting of a sunrise with baked goods on it. Like, what absolute monster do you have to be to see that and go, well, something has to be wrong with this. This cannot stand.
Let's
I
burn the books.
This
Mother effer. Jesus, overreach.
The ruling is a major victory for the bakery's ability to paint a mural on its own property without government meddling. Towns can certainly regulate signs. They can regulate the size of signs or the number of signs permitted, but what they can't do is pick and choose what signs to regulate based on what they depict.
Whoo! I could really go down a rabbit hole with this idea, but I'm not going to because we're a happy donut place, and that's a happy ending, and that's how we're going to end that donut news of the week. Okay, so before we get into my portion of this, I want to mention, I should have mentioned this last week. I even had it pulled up and just scrolled past it. So last week, one of the donuts we checked out was a cruller. Mm-hmm. Mine, not so awesome. Yours, a little better. And I came across this story. In 2003, this is reason number 1,437 to avoid the chains. In 2003, Dunkin' Donuts stopped making crullers by hand because they were too labor intensive. In short, they decided they weren't as profitable as the other machine-made donuts. So it actually took a little skill to make this donut. And they were like,
skill and effort, and they said, we can't possibly have that.
We need profit over capability. So, Now, they do still make a French cruller, a round French cruller by machine.
Yeah.
But
gross. That's gross.
Could you imagine going into a mom and pop shop and them going, we can't make that donut because our machine won't make it? No.
I'd walk right out of that mom and pop shop.
It wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen. All right. So our tour around the NHL playoff team cities with donuts. Today, so we've done St. Louis, Minnesota, Colorado, Ottawa, Montreal, Vegas, Tampa Bay, and New Jersey. And today, the Capitals will celebrate. They'll cry in their donuts at these joints if they know what they're talking about. Woodmore Pastry Shop, begun in 1954.
Damn.
71 years later, still putting out baked goods, including donuts. They have 14 different kinds of donuts. It is all the classics. They do a buttermilk bar, the glaze, the twist, the cake. It is the third generation of owners. Grandparent, parent, child now runs Woodmore Pastry Shop. They're north of D.C. in a community called Silver Spring. They're only closed on Mondays, and any place that can put out donuts for 71 years in a row gots to be doing something right. Good job, Woodmore Pastry Shop. Also, if you're in the D.C. area, check out Donut Run, also north of D.C., a little bit closer in Tacoma Park. They're open 7 days a week. They do decorated donuts. They're gorgeous, man. This is one of those Instagram donut places. They're a little frou-frou, but they're beautiful. 100% vegan. And most of the comments are, I've given these donuts to my friends who are not vegans, and they can't tell the difference.
That's insane.
Yes. That is not a vibe you carry all the time. But
the vegan bakery I work at does do vegan donuts.
And are they super delicious?
And I plead the fifth.
Yep.
And I will say.
So let me tell you about Donut Run.
Just based on looks, they do not look anything like a non-vegan donut.
Okay. Well, this place has learned the magic or whatever. So here are some of their flavors. All 100% vegan. Berries and cream for Mother's Day. Tiramisu brulee.
Oh, I fuck so heavy with a tiramisu.
Lemon poppy seed cake donut.
Oh, fuck yeah.
A mango coconut Easter basket donut. It's gorgeous. It's got a couple of
Interesting.
jelly beans on it. They do mess it up by putting coconut on it, but there are people who like that, and it looks like a frickin' Easter basket. So
I will say, working at a donut shop, I didn't personally put any jelly beans on donuts for Easter. They did do that, but that was something like they kind of did in the mornings, a small batch of it. But what I enjoyed about it is that there were just like jelly beans in the bakery. And so every time I wanted...
they were like, I thought we had more jelly beans. And they're like, yeah, Eric's working today.
Did, but I worked last night.
Please tell me they were Starburst jelly beans.
Oh, fuck yeah, they were Starburst jelly
Okay,
beans.
thank you.
Look,
man,
I'm going to take heat for this because I'm in Sacramento, and the Jelly Belly factory is like 30 minutes away.
Oh.
And Jelly Belly is huge out here.
Yeah.
They don't have fucking anything on Starburst jelly beans. Starburst jelly beans are the best. The number one jelly bean. I think there is something impressive about Jelly Belly, like nailing down like certain specific flavors in a jelly bean, but it's like, I'm not eating a jelly bean one by one. I'm not doing that. I can't do that. That's insane.
Right.
Because you have such a spectrum of flavors. I can't just eat 3.
Yes.
And know that it's going to be, more often than not, it's probably going to be shit. Because they're just so wildly different flavors. Starburst jelly beans are top tier.
Yep.
Sorry, Sacramento.
They do a blueberry cheesecake donut. Again, 100% vegan. Love that.
Hell yeah.
And for the topper. So in Washington, D.C., one of the big draws in the springtime is the cherry blossom, the trees, cherry blossom bloom. Yeah. They do a cherry blossom donut. It is a cherry glaze. They top it with toasted almonds and chocolate drizzle. And it's an almond whipped cream filling.
Ooh.
That sounds
really
100%
good.
vegan. Good job, Donut Run. Gotta check them out. But here is my personal favorite, and probably will end up being yours. Astro Donuts and Fried Chicken. We've actually talked about this place before.
Probably. Yeah.
They have 2 locations. It's still mom and pop shop. They're open 7 days a week. When you get one of their chicken sandwiches, you have 4 bun choices. You can do the brioche roll. You can do a cheddar biscuit.
Oh.
You can do a savory donut. Or you can do an Old Bay donut. Yeah, so that's just for the chicken. So imagine what the donuts are. They do glaze, they do maple bacon, they do peanut butter and jelly, chocolate cake, vanilla cake, creme brulee donuts at Astro Donuts and Fried Chicken. They do a key lime pie. They do raspberry lemonade. They do a root beer float donut. It is a root beer glaze, and it's stuffed with vanilla pastry cream.
Root beer glaze. I want to drink that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I fucking love a root beer float.
Here,
I don't drink root beer floats enough. That's for sure. That needs
root
to
beer
be
float
part of-
donut. That's a brilliant idea.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
Here's the backstory. 2 kids grew up in Maryland playing hockey together, and after the games, they would go out for donuts after their hockey games. Elliot Spaceman is one of the kids. The other one, Jeff Halpern. He played 976 games in the NHL. He had 337 points in his career, basically a checking center. He won a cup as an assistant coach in Tampa Bay in 2020. He played originally for the Caps, Maryland boy playing for the Washington Capitals. Then over the course of his career, Stars, Lightning, Kings, back to the Caps, then the Rangers, then the Canadiens, and the Coyotes.
Yeah.
So, almost 1,000 career games. Here's the trivia. Now, I know we do trivia at the end of the day. Who was Jeff Halpern's right winger in the first game of the 05-06 season? He was a center. Who was Jeff Halpern's right winger in 05-06?
And he was with Washington?
Mm-hmm.
Did they put Ovi with him?
They did! Jeff Halpern was Ovi's first center in the NHL.
How
Ain't
about
that crazy?
that? That's
And him and his
insane.
buddy started a donut and chicken place. This is their kind of riff on chicken and waffles. But I'm like, yeah, we've been, and I didn't know about this. But for sure, we're going to go back to Washington, D.C. at some point in our future. And Astro Donuts is on that list. So,
Hell
yeah, I think a great backstory. All right, so our donuts today, Eric, we're going to start off with a glazed donut. Tell me, if you can't do a glazed donut, you probably shouldn't
Yeah.
be in the donut business,
Yeah,
right?
that's-
If you can't do a decent donut, or maybe even better than that,
Yeah, it's time to take a
it's
step
maybe
back
not
and
your forte. Yeah.
rework
So
some stuff.
tell me about your glazed donut today.
So today I went to Delta Donuts. They are located at 7625 Power Inn Road here in Sacramento, California. Bit of a industrial area of Sacramento. Not exactly hopping with a ton of businesses, that's for sure. And my glazed donut today was really just okay. I'd say it looked better than it tasted, which I think is not a great recipe for success. Because it was 4 inches across, 2 inches tall. Good, big, fluffy donut. This one was $1.85, which is a teensy bit pricier than other. I'd say than the average. I'd say the average is about $1.70, $1.75. So $1.85 isn't exorbitant, but it's definitely a little bit higher than average. Really, the main thing about this donut that really didn't do it for me is how dry it was.
Oh.
There was not nearly enough glaze on this, and the glaze itself was way too thin.
And let me interrupt. What's the first name in that donut?
Glaze.
Yeah. And you didn't get that part right?
Yeah. It was really... Usually when you glaze a donut, it kind of drips down the side, and this donut, it maybe dripped down like a quarter of the way through.
Oh, wow.
Like easily the bottom half of this donut.
Do you
was
think your
completely
pictures will
bare.
show this clearly?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And the donut, again, I think if you're gonna have that, 2 inches tall for a glazed donut, that's pretty substantial, and then you bite in and it immediately just kind of collapses because it's not nearly as fluffy as it looks. It is not great either. I did like the flavor of the glaze. I think it was the right amount of sweetness, but the texture of it and the texture of the dough, I think, was just too dry. I think I want to give this like a 3.1. This is
Rough.
rough. It's a below average glazed donut. 100%
Yep.
sure.
Sounds like it.
And especially
Based on that score.
because it looks pretty good. It looks like it might be an above average glazed donut, but biting into it, the flavor, the texture, it's really not where a glazed donut should be. So 3.1.
Today's going to turn out to be a bad day for the Sacramento Donuts, man. If things go like they're starting off for me, oh my God. Look at that beautiful donut. I went to Bello's Bakery today. They're 11744 Manchester Road in Des Peres. People in St. Louis know it at 270 in Manchester. It's about a mile down the road. I've been to this place before on National Donut Day. And I remember specifically when I pulled into the lot and saw the front, it came rushing back. This place is phenomenal. I remember that vibe when I pulled in. I believe I was with my daughter Isabel, maybe somebody else for National Donut Day on that run. And it's just an unassuming little shop in a strip mall. But it's been in business a long time and blown away. So I had a little bit of expectation walking in today, remembering how surprisingly delicious it was last time. And I'm like, well, same recipe. Let's see. So the gentleman who owns it is Bello. He bought it from Mr. Clayton when it was known as Clayton's Bakery. Benny started working at Clayton's Bakery in 2001. Thought so much of the place, he's been there for 24 years and bought the place. Before it was Clayton's Bakery, it was known as Schmiemeyer's Bakery. So these are the same recipes that have just been carried on by the new owners. And this glazed donut is fucking excellent. Oh my God. It's 3.5 inches by 5 inches. It's an oblong donut. But I kind of like that rustic donut where it's not just plop, 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 where they kind of get their own time in the fryer. A dozen donuts you purchase at Bello's Bakery for $11.88.
Oh my God.
It's a 99-cent glazed donut.
That's ridiculous.
But here's the kicker. Also in the box, I had custard filled, I had cinnamon twist, I had jelly filled, I had a buttermilk bar. All of those, 99 cents. So,
how the fuck am I even supposed to compete with that?
The most expensive donut I bought today was $1.30 for the buttermilk bar. That's the most expensive one in my box. I got a baker's dozen today.
That's unfair.
So,
I think it's a little unfair.
Now, here's the thing, man. Just because it's a great price and a big, tall donut, that doesn't... How does it taste?
Yeah.
Mother effer, the great glaze, man. It is a great glaze. The dough, when you bite it by itself, delicious. It's big, but not chewy. It's not a hum getting through the donut. Even though it's big, it melts as you chew it. It's fried perfectly. It is just light and airy. It's a great combo of the glaze that's not too sweet. It's that combo where the glaze and the dough work together, so you get it all in each bite. It is a 4.7.
Oh,
this is an excellent glazed donut. If they had glaze on the bottom, this may challenge the donut stop for my favorite glazed donut ever.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I know. So, Jesus, if you brought in a dozen of these to work on a Friday,
you're getting promoted?
You're having a promotion on your desk before the day is up. Bob, great job. We think you should be a VP. I mean... excellent glazed donut. Bello's Bakery on Manchester. Boom.
Fuck. Well, our second donut today is a
You know how hard it was for me to not jump out of my seat while you're doing your donut review? I was just like, I can't wait to tell them!
So our second donut today is the chocolate Long John.
Yeah.
Mine was not so good. I will say it's on the bigger side of Long Johns that I've had here in Sacramento. 7 inches long, 2 3/4 inches across, and an inch tall.
That is big.
Yes, especially for out here. Because of that size, it gets a 10-cent bump. It's $1.95. Yeah, it's just not a very great donut. The dough is just so dry. It's so dry. They're using too much flour over there. It's just like when you pick it up, you kind of have like a almost sandy residue on your fingers. It's just too dry. You guys, it's too much flour in that dough. It's not working. The texture is average, not super fluffy, but it's not dense. The chocolate frosting, I'd say, again, it's not awful, but it wasn't great either. I think the texture of it was a little thin. I like my icing to be a little bit thicker on the donut. It wasn't a chocolate fudge icing. It was chocolate flavored for sure. It definitely wasn't a thing where it's just sugar and you don't get any chocolate flavor. You definitely tasted like chocolate, but not very chocolate fudge forward. It was. This is. I want to describe this as like a whisper of a donut. This was just all stuff that it's like, this is technically we've made a donut here. There's really nothing special or great about this donut. And it's $1.95. This is a $2 donut. That's pretty nuts. I want to get this like a 2.8. This is just, there's no reason to go in and buy this donut. Genuinely. Your life will not be changed if you do not get this chocolate long john. Honestly, you might be better for it if you don't get this chocolate long john.
Oof.
There is nothing special about this $2 donut. Yeah, this is definitely not one that you're gonna want to try to get at Delta Donuts. This is one that you can, if someone asks for a chocolate long john, go ahead and grab it for them. It'll be fine. But if you're trying to, put something on to someone, this is not the way to do it.
Well, it's going to be hard for me to not beat that score, first
Yeah,
of all.
that's fair.
Bello's Bakery. So I found this a little odd. It's sort of a square. I mean, obviously this is half. It's a rectangle donut. It's 6 inches long, 2.5 inches wide, 1.5 inch tall. 1.5 inches tall, sorry. So it's kind of a big donut, but I've not seen how they were able to square off a donut like this. Usually it sort of rolls over the edge on a long john, but this is like square. And I'm like, that's an interesting technique. As we've talked about many times, long johns are in the bottom third of my donuts. If I'm picking donuts out of it at a joint, the long john is just not a favorite for me. They just tend to be too much dough, too chewy, not enough pizzazz for me, for just a long john, chocolate long john. However, the chocolate on this is really good. It's not the best chocolate fudge icing I've ever had on a donut, but it's really good. It's not grainy at all. It is a smooth chocolate. The dough is very good when you bite just dough off of the bottom. It's kind of interesting. The bottom is a little crispy, and I really like it. It sort of gives it a base and differentiates from the rest of the fried dough. It's not chewy. That's my big complaint with most long johns. Just chew, 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 too chewy. This is not. It's a little bit of that vibe from the glazed donut where you're biting it and it's melting. And again, 99 cents for a really good chocolate. This is a 4.1 for me. And that is remarkable because I never give Long Johns big scores. I just don't. But if you're looking for stuff in a Long John, Bello's Bakery nails it. The chocolate is really good. It's fried really well. The dough is really good. It's not chewy. It's well prepared. The little crispy bottom is a little different for me. And 99 damn cents, man.
Yeah, that's
4.1. Yeah, maybe even higher. I'm going to stick it at 4.1, but that's the best Long John donut I've had in St. Louis.
Wow.
I know. So, Bello's Bakery, man. And here's the thing about Bello's. So they do have a big old donut offering in the case, but they do everything. Somebody had ordered a donut, and it was in the shape of a number 7, I think. And this thing was like 3 foot long by 2 foot wide. Yeah. I mean, obviously for a kid because it had like pink icing and sprinkles.
Yeah.
But they do cakes, they do wedding cakes and birthday cakes and pastries. And if you just went in there for muffins or danishes, you would be blown away by their selection. Cookies and brownies. A really tremendous bakery. Does that guarantee that the donuts are going to be great? Absolutely not.
Now, usually in past times, it kind of means that the donuts might not be very good at all.
Like it's an afterthought. Like we have to do donuts to be open in the morning to get people in the door to look at our other stuff. Bello's Bakery does freaking those two donuts, man. 4+ is that. Love it. Woo!
Okay.
Tell me about your buttermilk bar, Eric.
All right, this buttermilk bar, it's all right. It's all right. It's a good end for Delta Donuts. So my
Trending up.
Yes, my buttermilk bar. It was 5 inches across, 2.5 inches tall. This one was also $1.95, which I think is a little surprising that this is the same price as the Long John. Like you would think, if the Long John's a 10-cent bump from a glaze, you would think this would be like maybe a 20 or 30-cent jump from the glaze. So $1.95 still, and I'd say this is solid. It's a solid buttermilk bar. It kind of runs into the same issue that the glazed donut has. That the glaze really is just too thin, and it's not a huge component of this donut. But what makes this better than the glaze is that this buttermilk donut tastes pretty good. It's a nice buttermilk flavor. It's not super strong, which I don't love. I kind of wish I got more. Again, I wish I had more glazed flavor. I wish I had more buttermilk flavor. It's not enough of what it is. It's like a timid flavor, and I want more of it. I thought the texture was pretty good, good and spongy in the middle, a good cake texture. And for this being the same price as the Long John, it's kind of crazy because this is like, from the Long John, it's a pretty significant step up. But in terms of buttermilk bars that I've had in the past, I don't think it really ranks up there. I think I want to give this like a 3.4. Like, it's fine. There's really nothing special about it. Texture's fine. The flavor is fine. I mean, it's definitely better than the Long John and the glazed donut. And that's purely just because the buttermilk flavor adds a little more dimension to it. And I think the texture of this cake donut is significantly better than their yeast textured donuts. So yeah, 3.4. It's fine. If you want a buttermilk bar at Delta Donuts, you can have this and you go, it's good. This is fine. This is what I wanted. I guess. It's not the best version of what you're going to want, but I don't know. I feel like you could do worse. I mean, they did, technically. Not with their buttermilk donuts, but their other donuts are not as great as this.
The best of a low bar.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry to do this to you, kid.
Oh my God.
These two donuts, the first two donuts, have put me in such a good mood. I was kind of back and forth on the fence about whether or not I should include this, but now I'm going to. Xiaflex is the drug that is used to treat Peyronie's disease.
What are you talking about?
It's a curvature of the penis due to scar tissue. They call it a bent carrot in their commercial on TV.
Hey, man! You know we're doing a donut podcast right now.
Yeah,
we're doing a podcast and we talk about donuts. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Wait till you see the picture. The other half of this buttermilk bar looks like a bent carrot.
You could have just said bent carrot. You didn't have to bring up a disorder, a health issue that some people struggle with.
I can't watch the commercial because it wigs me out because the guy is standing in front of a bowl of bent carrots. And his wife's like, honey.
This is
my
putrid.
First thought when I saw this buttermilk bar was, that buttermilk bar has Peyronie's disease.
I don't think.
Now, here, that's where it ends, okay? Now we're going to donut review.
Fantastic.
Look at all that glaze. This is the bottom. Look at all the glaze all over this. Down in the crags, man. Down in the crags. This is the heaviest buttermilk bar I've ever picked up in my life. It's 5.5 inches long, 2.5 inches across. It's 1 3/4 inches tall. That's a big ass buttermilk bar. And it's friggin' delicious. The dough in the middle by itself, excellent. The glaze all over into the crags. The glaze is great. You can taste the buttermilk in the batter when you eat just the dough. It's not chewy. Even though it's a big donut, it's not chewy. I love that juxtaposition of the really crispy exterior with the really soft cake. And as you know, in the past, we've had a donut place that had not yet mastered the art of frying them. So it was done on the outside and the cake dough done on the inside. Bello's Bakery knows how to fry a donut. That's excellent donut. Guess the price.
Fucking 99 cents, isn't it?
It's a 99-cent donut.
Motherfucker.
You get 12 of these, man. You could get 12 of these gargantuan buttermilk bars for $11.88. That's ridiculous. It is. Bello's Bakery, man. I know you and I focus on mom and pop donut shops, but bakeries do donuts too. Mm-hmm. This is the best bakery donut place in St. Louis that I've come across. We've done 33 shows, not all in St. Louis, but a bakery that can pop out monstrously delicious donuts like this. 4.4 on my buttermilk bar today.
Fuck.
What else am I looking for in a buttermilk bar? They check all the boxes. It's just freaking delicious. What a find. People in St. Louis, go to Bello's Bakery and get your damn donuts there. Mm-hmm. It's phenomenal. Good luck not buying anything else while you're in there because it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous shop, and they have so much to choose from. But a bakery place doing donuts has absolutely nailed the donuts. This is what I want every review to feel like. Where I'm happy, where the price is phenomenal, and the donuts are great, and the people in there friendly. It's just, I didn't feel rushed. And it's Friday morning. It was busy. There were people in front of me, people behind. Never felt rushed. So what a great shop to get donuts from, Bello's Bakery.
And I also went to a donut shop today. History will remember that I ate donuts today from the donut shop.
All right. The way we usually wrap up our show is with a little bit of trivia. Eric, I have 2 for you today. Maybe an easy one, maybe a hard one.
Okay.
You'll be the judge of that. The famous Randy's Donuts in L.A. appears in many films. What film in 1996 did Randy's Donuts appear that had Jack Nicholson as the United States president?
Jack Nicholson as the president?
It's a star-studded comedy. Danny DeVito, Jack Black, Pierce Brosnan, Michael J. Fox, Annette Bening, Natalie Portman, Martin Short, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Fuck. Jack. Oh my god. I feel like I can't think of what it is, but I feel like once you tell me the answer, I'm gonna be upset that I didn't know it.
All right, I'll give you a little hint.
Okay.
Science fiction.
I want to say, is it like Mars Attacks?
It is Mars Attacks. Yes.
That's what I first thought, and then you started naming more people. I'm like, "Fuck, were they in Mars Attacks?" I don't remember that.
It was a big cameo, and it had all this hype, and then it was just not good, and people were like, "Don't go see it."
It's really not a great movie. Mm-mm. It's silly.
Yeah, silly.
I'd say it trends more to the like funny bad than boring bad.
Yes,
but still not a great movie.
Right. Okay, now that was the easy one.
Ah, fuck.
All right. Black Dynamite is a 2009 satirical action comedy film starring Michael Jai White. It parodies the blaxploitation films of the 1970s. In the movie, he is a former CIA agent who is cleaning the streets because of a new drug. In the donut killing scene, he shoots a man dressed as a giant donut. When he was asked how he knew the guy was a mafia hitman, he replied, "Donuts don't wear what?"
Oh God. I'm gonna say like penny loafers.
Oh, you're in the right vein. Think of what it might be a stretch. Mafia hitman. He wouldn't wear penny loafers.
I guess I was thinking more just like mafia boss, mafia hitman. Fuck, I don't know.
Donuts don't wear alligator shoes.
I was right. I was right about the thing about what he shouldn't be wearing.
Yes.
I just didn't know. All right.
Yeah. So
I'll take half a point on that. I think I get half a point.
All right, 1.5 out of 2. Okay. So that wraps up show number 33. Really excellent St. Louis version of the Midwest Donut Review show today.
I don't think... Look, we've had, like, disparity between our two shops before. I don't think it's ever been this large.
Yes,
I don't think it's ever been this... I didn't get a donut over 3.5 today, and you didn't get a donut below a 4.
I know. Just for that, I'm not going to eat the other halves of these 3 donuts.
Yeah, right.
On film.
Yeah.
Eric, how can we get people involved in what we're doing here with the Midwest Donut Review show?
If you are watching on YouTube right now, subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and commenting on the video, we see all of that, and that's all good. Interaction. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, rating and reviewing the show, following the show, all that good stuff. Just interaction with the podcast itself. And even if you don't want to do any of that, but you want to let other people see it, is sharing it on your social media platform of choice. That all helps us get more eyes, get in the algorithm. And that's all good stuff.
Okay. I will give you a little bit of a heads up. So my brother Bob and his wife Vicky tried out a new donut place that is 1.5 hours from my home. And they said, it's really excellent donuts. You got to go do one of those reviews for your show. I said, I'm not driving 3 hours round trip for donuts. Yet. I am not yet there.
That's the thing. You can still tell us these donut shops, and it's nice to have them on our radar, even if they're not close to us. Like, hell, I'll be in Sacramento or in San Francisco in a couple months. You got a great San Francisco donut shop you think I should try? Let me hear it. Want to tell me something in Reno that's really good? Let me hear it. Like, sooner or later, I'll run out of Sacramento donut shops, and we're gonna have to expand our coverage area. So,
Right.
all feedback is good feedback.
So here's the interesting end of this story. So they told me this 2 weeks ago. Earlier this week, I got a text saying, new donut shop opening in St. Peters, Missouri, 10 minutes from my house. It's the sister donut place to the one they recommended in Washington, Missouri. So, my brother and sister-in-law can say these donuts are phenomenal all they want. Ultimately, I will be the judge. So, whoever ends up on my radar next week has some big shoes to fill.
And whatever donut shop is coming up for me next is just like, fuck yeah, baby.
Bello's Bakery, the place to go.
Delta Donuts is a place.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us again. We will see you very soon with our next episode of the Midwest Donut Review Show. I'm Dave Leggett in St. Louis, Missouri. That is Eric Leggett in Sacramento. Everybody, thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon.